just sit here quietly for a second.
Okay. Or we could sit here really loudly. Think about it.
Okay, let's do this. Oh, we're live. Just sit here quietly for a second. And the chat works.
Amazing.
Okay, and I'll bring this up over here. And then I'll send a link, and that will be a hoot. There's my live chat on the big TV. And I will just tweet this out. Man, if anybody's watching this right now, you are watching the sausage get made.
You are watching a bunch of men try their best. We're just a bunch of men trying our best. Hey, look at us, try our best. Welcome to Pucks on Net.
That's a great way to start, Arash. Let's start right there.
Yeah.
This is the Pucks on Net postgame show for March 24th. A deflating 5-1 loss to the Winnipeg Jets. Yes, there was a one, Arash. There was a garbage goal, a garbage point, garbage 4-game effort. And just an abysmal effort. But before we get to that, this is the Pucks Net postgame show, the best postgame show in the city. There is no debate for that.
Nope.
Actually, we need to start over.
Why?
Because I wasn't recording on Zoom. All right, anybody on YouTube, we're going to do this again. This is the Pucks.
Wow. This is really how the sausage gets made, eh, right?
Yeah, well, way she goes, and I can just turn that down a bit. This is the Pucks on Net postgame show for Wednesday, March 24th, 5-1 loss to the Winnipeg Jets. This is the Pucks on Net postgame show, the best postgame show in the city. There is no debating that. That is just a cold hard fact. I got Arash on the line here. Arash, how are you doing?
Oh, yeah, pretty good. First time caller, long time caller.
Those are banned, mister.
Could you imagine? Could you imagine if we, what we should do? We should just have a phone, just like a red phone, in which at any point at night, if you just call it, we just answer and we just talk you off the ledge. That is the Canucks fan base. That was pretty great, eh, Andrew Kopp? Look at that.
Yeah, I mean, what a stud. I mean, 4 goals, probably the best in the league. If I could sit here and talk for days about how good Andrew Kopp is. Let me just Google Andrew Kopp. Yeah, he's 6'1", which means he's about 5'11". University of Michigan. That's a little tip for all you.
Are you insecure, Ryan? Are we getting into this? I mean, you are wearing an Arkells shirt, so maybe you are trying to displace yourself for a personality. Have you ever heard of the Arkells? My name's Ryan.
They are a hardworking band from Steeltown. Man, this was a piss poor game. A lot of things were wrong with this game, Arash.
Yeah,
and this is a game that, up until the final 90 seconds, 2 minutes, we were worried that we were going to be seeing another shutout loss to Connor Hellebuck and the Winnipeg.
He almost said Carter Hart.
As
if Carter Hart would be getting a shutout right now. That kid has regressed from 22 years of age to 15. He's Benjamin buttoning it. It's hilarious.
He is a Carter Hart shutout is he doesn't get pulled in the game.
Exactly. That's the parade in Philadelphia right now. If Carter Hart doesn't get pulled, it's like, yo, we're going past the Rocky Monument.
Everything is just fine if Carter Hart plays from first buzzer, first puck drop. Boy, Rash, before we get into things, I don't know how intently you watch this game, but I think every fan, any hockey fan of any team, was really paying attention to calls, to officials, to flow of penalties.
Oh God, I was just like, from the Tim Peel stuff yesterday, it was really funny because just being on Twitter is everyone just being like, hopping on and trying to make a makeup call tweet, you know. And so what was what was the penalty? It was the was it like was the one the really chintzy first penalty? Do you remember?
There was a too many men call early on, and that was a
Yeah, that was the too many men one where Dylan DeMello like actually like held on.
yeah.
Like he just like stopped from passing, and then they actually weren't too many men. But yeah, then in my head I was like, oh no, here comes 10 straight against the Canucks. It's like Antoine, go to the box. Jake, go to the box. Travis Green ejected.
Well, Travis Green technically went to the box like at least twice. There were somehow three bench minors. I think if that's how they were calling them, we're like you brought up going to the rule book, and it's like, okay, there's a 5-foot grace period, or grace zone around the benches, and it's like I just feel like they got to get those calls somewhere, so they're out there like, man, that was 6 feet, I think, 2 minutes, but it was Besser went off early, just 6 minutes into the game, a tripping call against Neil Pionk. But this was I think the biggest thing you got to talk about is after we did the podcast on Monday, one hell of a dull game between the Canucks and the Jets. The biggest, scariest thing of the night was Bo Horvat going down, crawling. The Jets are helping him off the ice. He can't make it through the tunnel, and goddamn, he is in the starting lineup tonight.
Yeah, I mean, we were. Can you imagine? Like we were one unhealthy Bo Horvat away from like a Willie D era center depth. We were like Henrik Sedin, Brandon Sutter, Michael Chaput, and who is the guy? Who is the fourth guy? Jason Megna. we were one Bo Horvat injury away from just being like, okay, Michael McAllis, who played for, and Tyler Gravick. All right, that's pretty good. You know, it's funny because people are getting like, this is the death knell for the Canucks. Well, okay, yeah, it's optically not great, but also, hey, Calgary lost against Ottawa tonight. Like, you know, and yeah, the biggest outlier right now is that Montreal is going to have like a Costco sized fucking wholesale bag worth of games left to be played. Like, you know, they're just like, oh my god, they were on sale. You know, marked down $3. They had to buy them, and they just bought them and shit. So Montreal
on special in a Quebecois Costco.
So yeah, Montreal has you know, especially since they're going through COVID protocols and everything, so they have a little bit of they're going to still have a bit of a chunk of games to make up, but like, yeah, like I said, it's going to be a lot. It's going to be determined by how many points Ottawa is going to be able to take off teams.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, how many points like Toronto is going to be able to take off teams. And now you look at the discrepancy of like Toronto being like, all right, Jack Campbell, former Windsor Spitfire, let Jesus take the wheel. So we'll see kind of how that goes.
Former Windsor Spitfire.
Where he was. Yeah, so right now it's like, when we talked about it before, we were like, oh, Vancouver has to catch Calgary and Montreal for that last spot. It's like, well, okay, Calgary, for all intents, like Matthew Tkachuk's getting 13 minutes. As you see, I'm trying to avoid the Canucks game because, like, okay, Andrew Kopp gets like 9 goals.
1, 2.
So many goals.
I don't have enough fingers to count how many goals Andrew Kopp had tonight. I don't have enough fingers to count how long the shifts for Tyler Myers tonight.
Yes. Yeah. And you know, it's like I don't think it's for a lack of effort. Like they almost got like 40 shots on Connor Hellebuyck. They got one late.
They were chucking them on him tonight.
They were chucking, and like at some point, it's like, okay, well, you know, Petey's not in the lineup. Horvat's injured. Tyler Toffoli plays for Montreal. So, like, what do you know? They tried everything. This is a guy who won the Vezina Trophy, you know, last year, and Laurent Brossoit. I mean, of course, another shutout. Winnipeg goalie seems to just play their hearts out against the Canucks. But yeah, I mean, for this game, it's like, okay, it's another game towards the trade deadline. And it's just another idea, like another kind of theory crafting time where, they get Travis Boyd and Jimmy Vesey off of waivers from Toronto.
Mhm.
And you think like, okay, is there a method to this? Or is this literally like, I don't think this is what Francesco had in mind when he told Jim, like, get more men on the team. I think he's like, okay, everyone, just go on the ice. No, Jim, no. It's fine. It's fine. We've paid them off. Tim Peel, remember? It's okay. It's fine. They're managing the game. Have mercy on us.
Oh.
No, even that's another thing where we're talking about. Oh, that's my new favorite argument that people are having. It's like, time management's been here forever. It's not like it doesn't exist. I'm like, yeah, well, white supremacy's been here forever.
Just because something's been here for a while
doesn't mean it should.
Like we'll save this for Monday's show, but like there's so much to talk about like the goals that referees are trying to accomplish with game management and handing out penalties, seeing fit, essentially controlling the game.
Yeah.
The game that they used to do that for doesn't exist anymore. This is a new type of hockey. And I think everybody, fans and players, are like, just call the damn rules and call them the same every night.
Well, we posted that very tasteful meme where it's like, well, we just want you to referee games and not manage them.
Mm-hmm.
And this is going back even past 2011, which is our most soft spotted year, where it's like the Bruins essentially at that in 2011 had an idea where they said, okay, either you're gonna call everything that we do, or you're only gonna call, like you have in your mind, we're gonna call 5 penalties in this game. So if they can run rock shot and Brad Marchand can just start punching Daniel in the face, and it's like, well, remember, it's the playoffs, right? You want to do this, like, let them play. It's the playoffs. I want a fucking NHL commercial where it's Brad Marchand punching Daniel Sedin. It's like, this is the NHL.
This is what we're for.
This is the playoffs where everything is hard and tough. And it's just like keeps punching. It's like, don't worry, that's not one of the 5 penalties we call. It's okay. Well, because that's essentially what happened, right? So, I mean, yeah, you look at tonight. I mean, I would love for someone to come out and be like, oh, Thatcher Demko, we got to figure that out. It's like, God, it's the same thing. It's the same reoccurring arguments that we're having every night. So, yeah, well, they're 2 games under 500 again.
Hey, they were at 500 before this goddamn.
They were no, they were 1 game below.
No, they just lost 2 games.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, they just lost 2 games. So they're 2 games below 500. Calgary, for whatever reason, is matching pace.
Okay, what time do the Canucks start worrying about the Ottawa Senators catching them? Because
okay, well,
they love winning games right now.
Baby, we could talk about the Canucks game, which is like, listen, you guys already know. It's the same stuff. Brandon Sutter, we're gonna hopefully trade. Tanner Pearson is 2 weeks away from being 2 weeks away. And any other Edler, we're gonna go. Remember that those entire chapters where we're begging Alex Edler to waive his no trade clause, right? Please, just go to Edmonton for like 4 weeks so we can get a 2nd round pick, and then you can come back and we'll give you $4 million. No, I don't think so. I like Vancouver very much. It's very nice.
Arash, I do want to go into the PON inbox because this is the
Go for it.
Show. PON postgame show. Calls are banned.
They better be.
Yeah, when in the second period, I climbed the telephone pole outside my apartment and with a hatchet, and I just started ripping it to shreds. So nobody's calling here. I have some electrical burns, but you can't call.
You have some electrical burns.
You can go in the YouTube chat, which is going off a bit. Nice to see a handful of people in there, and you can tweet us. But I got a question from Lindsay on Pender Island, and she's just wondering, what is a goal, and how do you score one?
First of all, I think it's just I don't know. You just assume you just tell the NHL you're no longer going to play against Winnipeg Jets for religious reasons. And there's just no way. What are you gonna? Gary's gonna make you play them. It's like Jim goes up. He's like, hello, Gary. Just want to let you know we are no longer playing games against the Winnipeg Jets for reasons that are religious. The Winnipeg Jets are not halal, and thus we are not playing them. And then Gary's like, "Oh, okay, I understand. Very good, very good."
We've had enough bad PR for one day. Let's just let this one.
He has 8 more games against Ottawa, just as an apology, and then we lose all 8 games against Ottawa.
Well, they love winning games, baby.
They love winning games, Maggle.
Welcome to Ottawa, where we win games.
Dude, that was so funny, man. Yeah, so like, hey, I talked on the last podcast about Vancouver and Ottawa being like these quote unquote sellers, right? With Calgary losing, I feel like they're just pretty much on the precipice of blowing it up. They have to be. Like this Daryl Sutter thing, this is not a 2004 Mika Kiprusoff situation. This is not an LA Kings, him taking over midseason situation. This is Johnny Gaudreau fucking boring Sean Monahan, who's like vanilla ice cream, but like no sugar vanilla ice cream. So it's just the taste of like bland vanilla.
Yeah, it is.
And then you have Matthew Tkachuk getting 13 minutes of ice time. You have Mark Giordano, an aging Mark Giordano on that back line.
He was aging just 10 years ago.
Well, no, he won the Norris a couple years ago. He's
like a 45-year-old man.
Yeah, we're not gonna have ageism on this podcast, please.
Right.
Don't do it. But yeah, now that you look at it, it's like, okay, well now you have three sellers in this division that, like you look at Johnny Gaudreau, Toronto's up to something. I feel like they're Boy Wonder over there is just like, Kyle's like, okay, so here's Timothy Liljegren. He's good. What if we offer you him and you give us Johnny Gaudreau? Think of the amazing, and you know what? We will also take Mark Giordano off your hands because he's old.
They love former Flames. I just want to say, Arash, and these are all, I agree with everything you're saying, but this is it shows how dull and how unremarkable tonight's Canucks game was when Arash's fantasy booking trades between the Calgary Flames and the Toronto Maple Leafs.
What else? But I was honestly okay. So I watched the 2 periods, and I was like, okay, I have enough time to go drop off some groceries at my girlfriend's house. So I was driving, and I went, and I came back, and on my drive back, in my head, I was just listening. And I was thinking, okay, what is there to talk about? Like, we've been through this. We literally went through this like last week. We've already been through this. This is not, they tried, they hustled. It's not like they got 15 shots on Connor Hellebuyck. They fucking tried.
And there was bad luck. I mean, the ridiculous stat right now is that there was 7 posts hit. Canucks hit 7 posts in 2 games. They hit 3 tonight. In an effort to make it a 3-1 game, Jake Virtanen's on a clear-cut breakaway, thanks to a really nice pass from Jimmy Vesey, who is a delightful little guy in the team.
Yeah,
he's unoffensive.
Does he remind you of anyone you can think of
a former Canuck?
Not even a former Canuck. Maybe anyone on the roster that perhaps plays left wing that might have a tree somewhere.
Last name is Arbutus. Okay.
Oh Jesus Christ! Ryan.
Yes. The Tanner Pearson tree is very ripe. Pearsons are falling off the branch without ease, and they are just delicious. So yes, we're all hoping in this week off that the Canucks are going to have that Tanner Pearson will heal up, that Bo Horvat will stick his gigantic foot in ice, and Elias Pettersson, who, Arash, some journalists, which we are now, we're both respected journalists.
Yes.
People, they hit the streets. They They have sources. They are at the rink. They're asking the hard questions. Not me. Puck Sonnen has a long-standing history of being Instagram stories detectives. He was Elias Patterson was working with kettlebells in the training facility at Rogers Arena on Monday. He's getting better. He's getting healthier. You just hope that in a week's time,
Yeah,
the people you need to be healthy are healthy, either for playing or for trading.
I think. Well, I kind of think like they probably said to themselves, "Okay, we're gonna see how we're doing." Like if they had won this game, they would have been at least within like game wise, they would be even, not counting extra strength or extra time games. And they'd be going into this break like pretty even. And then maybe they could think, okay, well, we're some of our players are injured and we're gonna kind of back up with health. And then then can you imagine when we have a surplus when Jimmy VC and Travis Boyd are in the lineup, and then we get Tanner Pearson back, and it's such good shit. It's just like Vince McMahon just marking out.
Are you worried that everybody will get healthy and they're like, well, we got too many men on the ice and on the roster?
No, I'm so worried that they're gonna look at all the possible depth and they're gonna say, you know what? We got to go for it. I know, listen, it's really easy to sit here because there's a disconnect, right? There's a disconnect between understanding that A, it's a business, B, you're dealing with people, right? Yeah. You're not just this isn't NHL where you're just on your PlayStation, you press X and you send a human being off to Florida.
Yeah, and magically they don't exist anymore.
Or they don't exist.
Sorry, that's the Sims. My mistake.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I don't know how
you're not going to put Travis Boyd into a pool, and then you're going to go into edit mode, and you're going to remove the ladder, and then he just swims around in there.
Dude, I love. But this was way back in the day. The way I got my parents to buy me The Sims, because I told them it would teach me about life. I was like, you don't understand. It's like being a person and I get to do taxes and shit. And my parents bought it and then I couldn't run it on my computer. Yeah, of course. Because what the fuck do I know about having a GPU back when I'm like 10?
Wait a minute. I love that your cell job was, it's like career and personal planning. That's why I need The Sims.
Yeah, it's like Cap, except I fucking skipped Cap because I was a theater kid. And they're like, well, at least he's not doing drugs. So we'll give him a pass because he's just a theater kid. Look, what are you doing with your beard? Listen, what is that?
Let's head back to the Canucks game tonight. About 45 too many men calls were called.
That was hilarious.
Like
those too many men calls were like, there was the one that was so funny was the Jake one. Because Jake like is going to the bench and then he gets a pass being like, oh my God, I got the puck.
And that when you watch somebody do something dumb and then it registers like 3 seconds later.
Yeah.
You watch the call, you watch the replay from the far cam, and he grabs the puck, they blow it down, and he's like, oh shit.
Well, it's also I know we love shitting on Jake and everything, but it's also like the defenseman making that pass towards Jake.
It is, yes.
Right? Like it's like, okay, it's a double standard where it's like, okay, if we're gonna blame Jake, then we need to blame the person throwing the pass towards Jake's position.
It was probably Tyler Myers.
It was probably, well, hey, what are you more burying Tyler Myers for? His most chaotic neutral energy on this team.
His shifts are still going on right
Dude,
now.
Remember when a certain optometrist referred to Tyler Myers as being like, Tyler Myers is an offensive defenseman. So why do we complain when he plays bad defensively?
Because he's a defenseman.
Because he's not fucking Quinn Hughes. Because guess what? Like Keith Yandel can be Keith Yandel. Do you know why Keith Yandel can be Keith Yandel? Because Keith Yandel scores like 50 points this season on the power play.
Keith Yandel could do anything he puts his mind to, and don't you forget that.
Yeah, and I'm like, unless you are beyond reproach defensively, or you make a burner account on Twitter and you play for the New York Rangers, and you almost get in a fight with your goalie because you cussed them out.
Yeah.
There's no way as an offensive defenseman you're not going to get played unless like if you actually produce points. So, I mean, I don't know. Like you look at the future and stuff. Like you know, it's all we have a week off. Yep, they have injuries and they're gonna get all healed up, Ryan.
They are
But
tired
this is
as a motherfucker.
this is the setup. They're two games down. A bunch of the teams around them have games in hand. Like you can see the writing on the wall. I'm not saying this isn't me trying to be a pessimist. I want them to. I would love if they had come and they had made the playoffs and they showed what they showed last year, and that they didn't take as much time to get everything together as they did this at the beginning of this season.
Mm-hmm.
But we're here because of the start of this year. Like it took a while for this team to figure its stuff out and get everything together, and now they're paying for it, and the hill they have to climb. Like I would love to say, well, hey, yes, the house is burning, but remember the St. Louis Blues? Like, no, yes, there's a reason why that's happened like once.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not Jim Carrey and Dumb and Dumber doing the fucking. So you're saying there's a chance? Like, no, I'm not. Anything's possible. Kevin Durant taught us, or not Kevin Durant, but Kevin Garnett taught us that. But you know, like let's be honest here, and you know, it's really funny, Ryan. Like we were in our group chat today, and we were talking about like cap hell teams.
Yeah,
and it's really funny. Like we talk about, in the Vancouver market, you know, for the longest time, it's like Louis Eriksson. Oh God, Louis Eriksson is the worst contract in the NHL. And then we're like, oh, Antoine Roussel at $3 million. And Jay Beagle at $3 million. Guys, I want you to get real comfy cozies. I want you to get a little blanket, maybe get a little there we go, get a little drinky poo. I'm gonna ASMR the fuck out of you guys right now. Let me there you go. Let me tell you guys a little story about a team or two teams. One out east called the Buffalo Sabres. The Buffalo Sabres, some have called Vancouver East, currently are on a 15-game losing streak.
They lost again tonight?
They lost again, Ryan. They lost again. Rasmus Dahlin, the phenom that we all thought was the next Nicholas Lidstrom, is now basically Swedish Derek Pouliot. I'm not lying. It's like he's forgot. He just doesn't want to play hockey anymore. They are 3 games away, or 3 losses away, from matching the 2003 and 2004 Pittsburgh Penguins for longest losing streak at 18 games. They play, if I can recall, they play, what is it, the Bruins or the Rangers? I think it's the Penguins, Bruins, and then the Flyers twice. So out of these, it's like, okay, well, they just lost to Pittsburgh, so it's probably going to happen again. Because can you guess who their starting goaltender is?
This is hilarious because I made a conscious effort to keep tabs on the Sabres on Monday, and I watched Carter Hutton go down with injury. And who comes in but Dustin Tokarski, former Spokane Chief, former Pierre Maguire apple of his eye, and he is old as shit. I mean, he was I think he was playing junior when you were still in high school, Rash.
Probably. He's listen, I am all in for people making the show again. Love it. So Buffalo, like you look at that, like they have Tokarski and their backup is like Michael Hauser, who is he's 29-year-old ECHL journeyman. Now listen, they have to beat Pittsburgh. They have to win once. But so it's Pittsburgh. Don't think it's going to happen. Bruins are interesting because Bruins are being kind of decimated by COVID. Mm-hmm. But depending on who they get back, that's interesting. Then it's up to these guys.
The Philadelphia.
My Philadelphia Flyers, who are also on their own precipice of
odyssey.
oblivion.
They are on an odyssey. They are
Dude.
themselves.
Dude, they are literally Calgary. They're Calgary. They're just they are a talented team that for no reason whatsoever should be buyers this year.
Mm-hmm.
No reason. They should just be like, this team doesn't deserve to have a general manager go out and spend draft picks to make them better. No.
Rash, they are a win now team because Jimmy Vesey makes Jimmy Hayes or
Kevin Hayes.
Whatever.
Kevin Hayes. What do you mean, whatever? That's Kevin Hayes, fucking Boston royalty, bro.
He makes $7 million. He makes $6 million.
Hey guys, welcome to a Boston-based sports podcast where women are objects and bros are bros.
And Saturday is for those bros.
For those bros. Hey Ryan, how many kills you get last night on COD? Huh? You dropping, bro? Oh my God. Let me tell you, I was in Gloucester last night. Fucking crazy, right? Dude, I was having some Lone Stars because I just finished watching True Detective. I'm like, bro, I'm McConaughey, bro. I'm McConaughey. Anyway, I'm hacking dots. My father comes in, right? Super pissed, wicked pissed, fucking breaks the window. I'm like, Dad, what's wrong? He's like, God, these Red Sox. I'm like, Dad, they're not even playing baseball. And he was having a fever
That's right.
dream.
They ain't playing baseball. What they playing is not baseball.
They playing themselves, Ryan.
I'd love it if they played baseball because that's not what they're doing on the field tonight.
Oh my God, dude. Yeah. So going back to Buffalo.
Going
back to Buffalo before we did a Shakespearean version of Good Will Hunting. So I mean, we know, we have problems back here in Vancouver, but Buffalo's on the precipice of this losing streak.
Yep.
Jack Eichel, he's like losing his mind. He wants out. And we talked about this.
He can't get out because he's hurt.
So we talked, but by the time he gets back, he'll be fine. They'll just keep him out in the off season. That'll probably be when the trade is. But we talked about this in the chat. It was really interesting. Where look at the Buffalo Sabres they trade Jack Eichel, let's say to Los Angeles, and they get, I don't know, Quentin Byfield and like two other prospects or whatever. Just they get a bunch of prospects. That's great. Those prospects go to Buffalo. They're still paying Jeff Skinner $9 million of full no move for 6 more years. Okay, that's that, and then Kyle Okposo for 3 more years. I think he has 1 goal this year. So then then you get kind of even more bigger brained, and you're saying, well, okay, we can get rid of the Skinner contract. We're just going to attach him to Eichel, and we're going to tell anyone, you want Jack Eichel, you got to take Jeff Skinner. Yeah. Problem with that, the team that is taking that trade says, okay, but we're giving you like a 2nd round pick because that Skinner contract is awful.
Mm-hmm.
And even if you do the first option, like now you're sticking Jeff Skinner with who? Like, even if he was, and the thing is, Jeff Skinner, we also talked about this, like Jeff Skinner's not, Dustin Tokarski's first line center. Jeff Skinner's not like has completely lost his value. It's just like he's a complimentary winger. He scored 40 with Jack Eichel. It's not like he just lost his mind. He just, Taylor Hall comes in and then he's playing with, Eric Stahl, who is not bad, but he's no Jack Eichel. He's 35-year-old guy who probably can't keep up with this kid who used to do fucking Tanya Harding-esque ballet speed skating. But yeah, so we look at that and we think shit is bad here. It's like maybe this weird season that the Canucks are in, just go with it. Go for the ride. Worst case scenario, we sneak into the playoffs. Well, you select 15th or 16th.
The worst case scenario with the Canucks is right now is that there is so much, it's so even keel. Like everybody is so close, and because everybody's playing just nonsensical hockey that nope. And with the delays and the 14-day quarantines, like people. teams and GMs really need to like say like, are we going to roll? Are we buying now? Things could be drastically different in 2 weeks, and then you have to do this 2 weeks before. So you have this fluid trade deadline, and it's like a team needs to put their foot down and be like, fuck it, it's over. And it's really hard to do that in a season this chaotic with this much uncertainty. And it's like if Jim Benning comes out and it's like, hey, we're trading, we're selling, like, goddamn, that's a tough decision. And I mean, like, I'm glad I didn't have to make it.
Yeah, but that's the job, right?
Yeah, I don't
Like
make
that. Yeah. Like, how many times have we been down this road where it's injuries, or question mark or exclamation mark, as if Francesco's kind of going the way of the GOP. Or we ran out of time, like Radim Verbata, Dan Hamhuis. Like, at some point, you gotta do your job. You gotta do the job, regardless of the excuse. Just regardless, like that's your job. Sometimes your job is to make the miracle happen, even though the miracle is because of something that you like. The reason you have to pull out something so miraculous is because of something you did.
Yeah.
You're pulling off the miracle to save yourself from yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, you look at where they're going, and yeah, man, it is what it is. Like, I just feel like let's take this week. Everyone just relax, take a week, go check out some other teams, go window shop a little bit. Go look at Carolina. Carolina's fun. They have like 9 top 4 defensemen.
Yeah.
Don't check out Philadelphia.
They got
New York's fun. The Rangers.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They're fun. Mika Zibanejad like DJ'd a little bit and had Iranian New Year, and he's like, I'm back.
You probably learned it from Michael Del Zotto.
Okay, well,
yeah, that might not have crossed over. As we wrap it up, because if there's 2 things that the NHL hates, it's the Pucksnet postgame show, the PON postgame show, the best postgame show in town. Because last time we did a game postgame show, 8:00 start, absolute shit-sucking game. Tonight, 7:30 start, absolutely shit-sucking game.
Shit-sucking game, dude.
As we wrap up the show this week, because we are keeping it tight, the positives, Niles Hoglander gets his 7th of the year in a complete garbage time goal. Horvat and Besser with the assists, so Besser keeps up his point a game-ish or so ratio, and that's not the right word, performance at pace, and and he continues to be possibly the Canucks offensive MVP.
One day he will be the 30 to 50 feral hog scorer that we hope he is.
Yes. And man, this was a tough game. A lot of posts, just a miserable couple games to watch, and we're hoping that when we do these post game shows, we have fun games to talk about where we can say, "Hey, Arash, you remember in the second period when the Canucks had those 3 great chances and it started with this play?" And instead, you're like, "Well, they really, really fucked things up in the second, and the first was mind-numbingly boring." And in the third, Andrew Kopp became the Milan Hayduk of the Winnipeg Jets.
Hey, remember during the 2011 Western Conference Final when San Jose took a bunch of penalties, and then the Canucks were like, "Yo, you know who's really good? Sammy Salo." And then they were like, "Yo, it'd be really cool because he has all this ice." As if like Kessler, both the Sedins, and I don't know who the 4th guy on the power play was at that time. Maybe who was the 4th guy on the power play? Kessler, Daniel, Henrik, Sammy Salo was there, but who was the 4th guy?
I don't know. They put it on Hockey Night in Canada recently. It wasn't Burrows. Burrows was on the second with Samuelson and somebody else.
Would it have been Edler or Bieksa?
Juice was on the second power play unit. I couldn't tell you.
Anyway,
they were just so fucking good that they.
So it was like that, and then they're like, "Hey, Sammy, you know what's cool is if you literally exit the fucking zone." And then this is one of my favorite plays of all time is they literally told Sammy Salo, "Exit the zone. We're gonna pass on the 5-on-3. You just come darting in and we'll find you," and you lean into a assumption. And Anthony Emmy was like, Jesus Christ.
I vividly remember that sunny Saturday, if not Sunday afternoon. It was beautiful.
Please, I want to go back to Chicago. Please, I don't like this.
So yeah, a piss poor effort. We're gonna keep it tight this week, tonight. But yeah, Andrew Kopp gets 4. Ehlers is all over the score sheet. The Canucks continue to be terrified by Connor Hellebuck and the Jets in general, and that is just not their performance, or that is just not their positive matchup. I did notice one thing, and I'll finish on a positive note. Laurent Brossoit doesn't sit on the bench. He says it's too cold, so he sits in the in the hallway or in the dressing room as a backup goalie.
It's too cold?
It is ice fucking cold in Rogers Arena. So Laurent Brossoit,
Why can't he just get like a little mini heater or something?
that's a fire hazard. You can't have that. Electrical hazard too.
Yeah, but there's ice. Why would there?
That's a COVID hazard. It has to be cold out there to regulate. You can't have the.
I think you're just gaslighting me at this point.
So here's my funny story about Laurent Brossoit. He actually lives in Vancouver. I won't tell you where, but a friend of mine's mom is his neighbor. They live in the same building together. And in the summer he was training. He was living in Vancouver and he was training, and he put up a nice note in the lobby, and he said, "Hi guys, I hope you don't mind if I dry out and air out my hockey equipment in my parking stall, because this is Vancouver. You don't have balconies or any yards." So it's like, if anybody is upset with this, please check this box. She sent me a photo. So Laurent Brossoit is a good neighbor because he asks, if anybody's upset that I'm airing out my stinky goalie equipment, let me know and I will stop. Nobody checked the box. The next time my friend went to go visit her mom, what does she see in the parking stall but Laurent Brossoit's, Winnipeg Jets gear and mask,
Amazing.
goalie equipment? So
what a good lad. I am glad he shut us out.
I tell you, if there's another goalie that's gonna get the Curtis Sanford treatment, and shit, he keeps kicking our asses, we should sign him.
My God, Philip Gustafson, he has 9 shutouts against us. Why? Yeah, man. I'm glad to have a week off. I think it'll be nice.
It's going to be nice to, again, I try to watch as much other games around the NHL as possible. Keep your eyes on other teams. Watch the Canadian Vision. Hopefully the Habs get those games in hand. Hopefully the games played starts to get a little closer, and you can really make sense of what's going to happen for April 12th.
Watch Calgary.
Yeah, Calgary.
I feel like if this continue, like, watch Calgary. Is Brett Treliving getting fired and fucking just watch Calgary. All I'm going to say.
So on that Watch Calgary note, we want to thank you once again for joining us for the Pucks on Net postgame show, the best goddamn postgame show in town. Keep buying your Pucks on Net merch. We had somehow had 2 sales during the game. I want to thank everybody.
Crazy. Thank you for your hard-earned money for buying our merch, so Ryan can finally get sleeves for his vinyl instead of buying me an iPhone.
Enjoy your week off. We will not be taking a week off. We'll see you on Monday for the regular podcast. But until then, here comes the White Stripes, and